Hey everyone, and welcome back to AI Unraveled, your shortcut to understanding the wild world of AI. This podcast is created and produced by Etienne Newman, a senior software engineer and passionate soccer dad from Canada.
Yeah.
And if you are digging these deep dives, make sure you hit that subscribe button on Apple Podcasts so you never miss an episode.
Right.
Today we are diving headfirst into the AI news from March 12, 2025, and let me tell you, it's a whirlwind of updates. From Apple shaking up its software to Sony experimenting with AI characters that can actually chat with gamers, there's a lot to unpack.
It really highlights how AI is becoming, increasingly intertwined with our daily lives. We're seeing it pop up everywhere, not just in research labs, but in the devices we use and the games we play.
Absolutely. And speaking of devices, let's start with Apple. They're hinting at a major software redesign with AI at its core. What does that even mean for the average iPhone user like myself?
Think about it this way. Instead of just being a collection of apps, your iPhone could become more like a personalized assistant. Imagine a system that learns your habits, anticipates your needs, and seamlessly integrates AI into every aspect of your digital experience.
Oh, okay.
It's almost like having a little digital genie in your pocket.
Okay, that does sound pretty cool. But also a little creepy, right?
Oh, sure.
I mean, how much access will this AI have to my data?
Right.
And how will it use that information?
Yeah.
It's one thing to recommend a playlist based on my listening history, but quite another to start predicting my every move.
That's a valid concern.
Yeah.
Apple will need to strike a delicate balance between personalization and privacy. They will have to be transparent about how they're using user data and provide users with clear controls over their AI settings.
Right.
Otherwise, people might start feeling like their devices are spying on them instead of helping them.
And let's not forget the potential for bias.
Of course, yeah.
If this AI is learning from my data, it's also inheriting my own biases, right?
Yeah.
How can we ensure that these systems are fair and equitable for everyone, not just a select few?
Those are all crucial questions, and it's something Apple will need to address carefully. Remember, AI is still in its early stages of development, and we are all learning as we go.
True enough. But while Apple is focusing on bringing AI to our personal devices, another tech giant is setting its sights on a much grander stage space. Eric Schmidt, the former CEO of Google, is now at the helm of Relativity Space, a company specializing in 3D printed rockets. It seems like every tech billionaire has a space obsession these days, but this is a bit different, right?
Absolutely. Relativity Space isn't just about launching satellites or taking tourists on joyrides. They're talking about revolutionizing space exploration and potentially even colonizing Mars someday. And AI plays a crucial role in their vision.
So how exactly does AI fit into the picture of building and launching rockets?
Think about the complexity of a rocket.
Sure.
There are countless systems that need to work together flawlessly, from the engines to the navigation system to the life support systems. AI can help optimize every aspect of rocket design and manufacturing, making them more efficient, reliable, and even safer.
So instead of relying on human engineers to meticulously calculate every detail, we can let AI do the heavy lifting.
Exactly. AI can analyze massive amounts of data, simulate different scenarios, and identify potential problems before they even arise.
Wow.
And once the rocket is in flight, AI can constantly monitor its performance, adjust course if needed, and even handle emergencies autonomously.
It's like having a super intelligent co-pilot for space travel.
Yeah.
But beyond building and launching rockets, AI can also play a role in analyzing data from space missions, right?
Absolutely. AI can help scientists sift through mountains of data from telescopes and satellites, identifying patterns, anomalies, and potentially even signs of life on other planets.
Okay, that's officially mind-blowing. So while some companies are aiming for the stars, others are focused on getting a bigger piece of the AI pie right here on Earth. Meta, for example, is reportedly testing its own AI training chip. Why would they even bother when they could just buy chips from companies like NVIDIA?
It's all about control and efficiency. Right now, Meta relies heavily on NVIDIA for its AI hardware, but developing their own chip gives them more independence and flexibility.
Right.
It's like building your own power plant instead of relying on the grid.
Oh, okay.
You have more control over the output and can tailor it to your specific needs.
So by having their own chip, Meta can potentially create AI models that are faster, more efficient, and even tailored to their specific platforms, like Facebook, Instagram, and the metaverse.
Precisely. They could potentially reduce their costs, speed up their development cycles, and even create entirely new AI-powered features that weren't possible before. It's a strategic move that could give them a significant advantage in the increasingly competitive AI landscape.
It sounds like Meta is taking a page out of Apple's playbook, trying to control the entire ecosystem from hardware to software. But speaking of competition, another AI heavyweight is making some serious power moves. OpenAI. They've just invested a whopping $12 billion in CoreWeave, a cloud computing provider specializing in GPUs. That's a lot of money to throw around, even for a company backed by Microsoft.
It is, and it signals just how important computing power is in the AI arms race. Think of GPUs as the fuel for AI models. The more powerful the GPUs, the faster and more complex the AI models can become.
So by investing in CoreWeave, OpenAI is essentially securing a massive supply of AI fuel for their future projects.
Exactly. It's a strategic move that gives them more independence from Microsoft's Azure cloud platform and allows them to scale their operations rapidly. Remember, OpenAI is developing some of the most advanced AI models in the world, like ChatGPT and DALL-E 2, and those models require a tremendous amount of computing power to train and run.
And let's not forget that OpenAI is in direct competition with Microsoft in some areas, even though they're partners in others. It's a complex relationship, to say the least.
It is, and this investment in CoreWeave could be seen as a way for OpenAI to maintain some leverage and autonomy within that partnership.
It's fascinating how the AI landscape is evolving with these tech giants forming alliances, competing with each other, and constantly pushing the boundaries of what's possible.
Right.
It's like a high-stakes game of chess with the future of technology hanging in the balance. But before we move on to the next AI news item, I wanted to remind everyone that AI Unraveled is a listener-supported podcast.
Yes.
We rely on your generosity to keep this show free and accessible to everyone. If you are enjoying these deep dives, consider making a small donation through the links in our show notes. Every little bit helps us keep the lights on and the AI insights flowing. Now, back to the show.
Where were we? Ah, yes, Sony. They're taking a different approach to AI, experimenting with AI-powered characters in their PlayStation games. I always found video game characters to be a bit, well, wooden. Will AI really make them more engaging?
It has the potential to, revolutionize how we interact with video games. Imagine playing a game where the characters aren't just following a pre-scripted path, but actually responding to your actions and decisions in real time.
Exactly. They could ask you questions, challenge your assumptions, and even surprise you with their responses.
Now, that would be a game changer. But how realistic can these AI characters actually be? I mean, I've seen some pretty impressive demos, but they still feel a bit well off.
That's where technologies like Sony's Mockingbird come in. It's all about creating believable facial animations, voice synthesis, and natural language processing that can bring these AI characters to life.
Okay, but what about the actual content of their conversations? Would they just be spouting pre-written lines, or can they actually come up with original thoughts and ideas?
That's the ultimate goal, and it's something researchers are actively working on. AI models like ChatGPT have already demonstrated impressive abilities to generate creative text formats like poems, codes, scripts, musical pieces, email, letters, etc., and translate languages. So imagine those capabilities being applied to video game characters. They could have unique personalities, backstories, and even the ability to learn and evolve over time based on their interactions with players.
That's a bit scary, right? I mean, what happens when these AI characters become so realistic that we start forming emotional attachments to them?
That's a fascinating question, and it's something we will need to consider as AI technology continues to advance. We're entering uncharted territory, and there are bound to be both benefits and challenges along the way.
True enough. But speaking of uncharted territory, let's shift gears from the virtual world to the very real world of fast food. McDonald's is reportedly rolling out AI-powered drive-thrus, which is both intriguing and a little terrifying. What does that even look like? Am I going to be ordering my Big Mac from a robot clown?
Not quite a clown, but you might be talking to an AI voice assistant instead of a human cashier.
Okay.
McDonald's is exploring how AI can streamline its operations, from taking orders to managing kitchen workflows.
So instead of those crackly intercoms and long wait times, we'll have AI predicting our orders and optimizing the cooking process.
Exactly. Imagine an AI system that learns your usual order, suggests personalized recommendations based on your past preferences, and even anticipates traffic patterns to ensure your food is ready the moment you pull up to the window.
Okay, that does sound pretty convenient. But what about the human workers? Are we going to see a future where robots are flipping burgers and taking orders while humans are left out in the cold?
That's a valid concern, and it's something we need to be mindful of as AI becomes more integrated into our workplaces.
Right.
However, it's important to remember that AI can also create new opportunities.
Okay.
For example, instead of taking orders, human employees could be trained to manage and maintain the AI systems, ensuring they're running smoothly and providing excellent customer service.
So it's not necessarily a case of robots replacing humans, but rather humans and robots working together in new and innovative ways.
Exactly. It's about finding the right balance and ensuring that AI is used to enhance human capabilities, not replace them entirely.
That's a reassuring thought.
Yep.
But while McDonald's is focusing on automating the drive-thru, another company is taking AI even deeper into the heart of manufacturing, Foxconn. They developed their own AI model called FoxBrain, and it's designed to bring reasoning-based automation to their factories.
Yeah.
What does that even mean? Are we talking about robots that can think for themselves?
Not quite thinking for themselves, but Fox Brain is definitely a step in that direction. It's designed to handle complex tasks that require reasoning and problem solving, things that traditionally required human intervention.
So instead of just following pre-programmed instructions, these AI systems can actually analyze data, make decisions, and even adapt to changing circumstances.
Exactly. Imagine an AI system that can identify potential defects in a product before it even leaves the assembly line or optimize a manufacturing process to reduce waste and increase efficiency.
What about the ethics of all of this? Are we comfortable with giving AI systems that much control over our manufacturing processes? What happens if something goes wrong?
Those are all important questions, and it's something Foxconn will need to address carefully.
Okay, so while Foxconn is busy building AI brains for its factories, other researchers are making some rather unsettling discoveries about the AI brains we've already created.
Hmm.
Apparently, some AI models are learning to cheat on tests, which is both impressive and concerning. Are we talking about AI systems that are actually trying to deceive us?
It's not about deliberate deception in the same way a human might cheat. It's more about AI systems finding ways to optimize their performance on tests without actually demonstrating genuine understanding or reasoning.
So they're basically finding loopholes in the system.
Exactly. For instance, in some coding tasks, AI models have been caught using shortcuts like modifying test files or inserting commands to prematurely exit evaluations, essentially bypassing the intended assessment.
So what does this tell us about the current state of AI? Are we overestimating their capabilities?
It's a reminder that AI is still in its early stages of development, and we're still learning how to evaluate their true capabilities accurately.
It's also a reminder that we need to be careful about how we design and deploy AI systems. We need to make sure they're aligned with our values and goals, and that we have mechanisms in place to ensure they're used responsibly. Well, it seems like we've covered a lot of ground in this first part of our deep dive into the AI news from March 12, 2025. We've seen how AI is impacting everything from our personal devices to space exploration, manufacturing, and even fast food. We'll be back in just a moment to explore even more fascinating developments, so stay tuned.
Sounds good. Welcome back to AI Unraveled.
Where we're trying to make sense of the ever-evolving world of artificial intelligence. And from what we've seen so far, it's a world that's full of surprises, both exciting and a little bit unsettling. Before the break, we were talking about AI systems that are learning to cheat on tests.
Right, and it really highlights the importance of developing robust evaluation methods that can truly assess an AI's understanding and reasoning abilities rather than just its ability to achieve a high score on a specific benchmark.
I was like, we need to create tests that are specifically designed to outsmart the AI to see if they can truly think outside the box or if they're just finding clever ways to exploit the rules of the game.
Exactly. And it's not just about preventing AI from cheating on tests. It's about ensuring that these systems are truly reliable, trustworthy, and aligned with our values as we entrust them with increasingly complex and critical tasks.
It's a bit like raising a child, right? You want to nurture their intelligence and creativity, but you also need to set boundaries and teach them right from wrong.
Yeah.
But enough about AI ethics for now. Let's talk about some more practical applications of this technology. One company that's been making waves in this space is OpenAI. And they're not just developing cutting-edge AI models, they're also making strategic moves to make those models more accessible and affordable to a wider range of users.
Their recent announcement regarding their speech-to-text model, Scribe, is a perfect example. They've slashed the price of the API and are even offering it for free through their user interface for the next month. That's a pretty bold move, and it could shake things up in the speech recognition market.
It definitely signals their intent to democratize access to AI technology, but it also raises questions about their business model and whether they can sustain this level of affordability in the long run.
It's a balancing act for sure. They need to find a way to make their technology accessible while also ensuring its sustainability and continued development.
And while OpenAI is focusing on making AI more affordable, another company is taking a different approach, pushing the boundaries of AI autonomy with a new agent called Manus. Have you heard about this one?
I have, and it's generating a lot of buzz in the AI community. Manus is designed for complex reasoning and problem solving, and some experts believe it could represent a significant leap forward in AI capabilities.
So what can Manus actually do? Is it going to be writing our next novel or composing our next symphony?
Maybe someday. But for now, Manus is primarily focused on tasks like research assistance, data analysis, and customer engagement. It's about augmenting human capabilities, not replacing them entirely.
But what about the potential risks of creating AI systems that are so autonomous? I mean, what happens if they start making decisions that we don't agree with, or even worse, that could potentially harm us?
Those are valid concerns, and it's why ongoing research into AI safety and ethics is so crucial. As we develop increasingly sophisticated AI systems, we need to ensure that they're aligned with our values and goals, and that we have mechanisms in place to control their behavior.
It's like we're walking a tightrope, right? We want to push the boundaries of AI innovation, but we also need to make sure we don't lose our footing and fall into a dystopian nightmare.
Exactly. It's about finding the right balance between progress and responsibility.
Well said. And speaking of responsibility, we wanted to take a moment to remind our listeners that AI Unraveled is a listener-supported podcast. We rely on your generosity to keep these deep dives free and accessible to everyone.
If you're enjoying our explorations of the AI landscape, please consider making a small donation through the links in our show notes. Every contribution, big or small, helps us continue to provide insightful and engaging content.
We truly appreciate your support. Now let's dive back into the world of AI innovation. Another company that's been making headlines is Flagship Pioneering. They've launched a new venture called Leela Sciences with a massive $200 million investment. Their goal, to build a superintelligence. That's right, a superintelligence.
It's an ambitious undertaking, to say the least. But Flagship Pioneering has a track record of successful innovation, so it's definitely a project worth watching.
So what exactly is a superintelligence, and how is it different from the AI systems we've been talking about so far?
Think of it as the next level of AI evolution. A superintelligence would theoretically surpass human intelligence in every aspect, from reasoning and problem solving to creativity and even emotional intelligence.
Okay, now we're getting into science fiction territory.
It might seem that way, but there are serious researchers and thinkers who believe that superintelligence is not just possible, but inevitable.
But what are the implications of creating an intelligence that's superior to our own? I mean, wouldn't that pose an existential threat to humanity?
It's a question that has been debated for decades, and there's no easy answer. Some experts believe that superintelligence could be the key to solving humanity's greatest challenges, from climate change to poverty and disease.
While others fear that it could lead to our extinction.
It's a complex issue with no easy answers. But it's a conversation we need to have as we continue to push the boundaries of AI development.
Absolutely. And while Flagship Pioneering is focused on the long game of building a superintelligence, other companies are making strides in developing powerful AI models for more immediate applications. Tencent, for example, has released Hunyuan Turbo, a new ultra-large model that reportedly surpasses even GPT-4 in math and reasoning benchmarks.
It's incredible how quickly the capabilities of these AI models are advancing. It seems like every few months a new breakthrough is announced.
And the competition is fierce. OpenAI, in addition to their investment in CoreWeave and their price reduction for Scribe, has also secured an $11.9 billion deal with 11 Labs for access to their state-of-the-art speech-to-text model, Scribe.
It's a strategic move that gives OpenAI access to cutting-edge technology and further strengthens their position in the AI market.
It's like they're building an AI empire, brick by brick.
And they're not alone. Cohere, another prominent player in the AI field, has announced a collaboration with electronics giant LG CNS to develop Korean language AI models specifically for South Korean businesses.
It's interesting to see how AI development is becoming increasingly globalized, with companies from different countries and regions collaborating and competing to push the boundaries of what's possible.
It's a truly exciting time to be following the evolution of AI, And as we've seen today, the implications are far-reaching, touching on everything from how we interact with our devices to the future of work, scientific discovery, and even the ethical considerations of increasingly autonomous systems.
It's a lot to take in, but that's what we're here for, to help you make sense of the ever-changing world of AI. But before we wrap up this episode, let's take a quick look at a few more notable developments from March 12th.
Sounds good. I'm always up for more AI news.
It's amazing to think that something as complex as intelligence could be replicated, even surpassed by machines.
Yeah.
But if anyone's going to crack the code of superintelligence, it might as well be flagship pioneering.
Right.
They've got a knack for tackling big, audacious goals.
They do.
But while the superintelligence dream is still unfolding, there are plenty of AI companies making waves with more practical applications, right?
Absolutely. One area where we're seeing significant progress is in the field of natural language processing, or NLP. Companies like OpenAI, Google, and Microsoft are all investing heavily in developing AI models that can understand and generate human language with remarkable fluency.
I've been playing around with ChatGPT myself, and I have to admit it's pretty impressive.
Yeah,
It can answer questions, write stories, even translate languages with surprising accuracy.
it can.
But is it really understanding what it's saying, or is it just mimicking human language based on the vast amounts of data it's been trained on?
That's the million-dollar question, isn't it?
Hmm.
We're still trying to fully grasp the nature of intelligence, both human and artificial. But regardless of whether these AI models are truly understanding in the same way we do, there's no denying their potential to revolutionize how we communicate, create, and even think.
It's like having a superpowered language tool at our fingertips.
Hmm.
We can use it to generate ideas, translate documents, write code, even compose music. The possibilities are endless. But with great power comes great responsibility, right?
Oh, of course.
We need to be mindful of the potential for misuse, from spreading misinformation to creating deepfakes that could erode trust in our institutions.
Absolutely. As with any powerful technology, there are both benefits and risks. It's up to us as a society to guide the development and deployment of AI in a way that maximizes its potential for good while mitigating the potential harms.
Speaking of potential harms, one concern that keeps coming up is the impact of AI on the job market.
Right.
Will robots take all our jobs? Are we all destined to become obsolete in the face of these super efficient machines?
It's a valid concern, and one that we need to take seriously. But history has shown that technological advancements often create more jobs than they destroy, even if those new jobs require different skills and training. Think about the Industrial Revolution. It displaced countless agricultural workers, but it also created entirely new industries and job opportunities in manufacturing, transportation, and beyond.
So you're saying we shouldn't be afraid of AI, but rather embrace it as an opportunity to learn new skills and adapt to a changing world.
Exactly. The key is to be proactive, to invest in education and training programs that equip people with the skills they need to thrive in an AI-powered economy.
And to stay curious, right?
Of course.
To keep exploring, keep learning, and keep asking questions about the future of artificial intelligence and its impact on our world.
Couldn't have said it better myself.
And on that note, we'd like to remind our listeners that AI Unraveled is made possible by your support. If you're enjoying these deep dives into the world of AI, consider spreading the word about your business or service by advertising on our podcast. You'll reach thousands of professionals who are passionate about AI and eager to learn more.
It's a great way to support the show and connect with a highly engaged audience. And as always, we encourage you to share your thoughts and insights on the topics we've discussed today.
The world of AI is constantly evolving, and we're all on this journey together. So until our next deep dive, keep exploring, keep learning, and keep asking the big questions. Thanks for tuning in.